Alright, so after last week's happy ending, I'm sure we're all thrilled for this episode. Gambit, Magneto, Madeline Pryor, they're all supposedly dead. The Godzilla Sentinel came out of nowhere, attacked Genosha. But who sent it? Where did it come from? Who was Cable trying to warn them about? That's what I'm most interested to see. It could be Sinister. Some people I hear are saying Apocalypse. Like I said last week, I'm not as versed into the X-Men lore, so it really could be anybody in my eyes. And then going back a couple weeks, we still have that unresolved storyline with Storm. That was a part 1. She got taken by Big Bird Creature Dude. I don't know. Forge seemingly got killed or knocked out, so I have no idea what's going to happen with that. Is she going to save herself? Is she going to get some help? I have no idea how things are going to play out, and that's honestly what's most exciting about this show is I really don't know. Before we get started though, 2 things. I want to thank everybody for the overwhelming amount of support that I've been getting on these videos. Thank you for that. And 2, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on post notifications, whatever you want to do to support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing the full-length version of this reaction or any other reaction that I have up on the channel, you can find them right here on YouTube on my membership page. So if you guys could check those out as well, I would greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm super excited. So let's go.
Regardless of your stance on recent world events, the images you are about to see may be disturbing.
See, like, this episode's called Life Death Part 2, so I assume we're going to be following what happened with Storm. But we're seeing this, too, so I assume we're going to get some, explanation as to what's happening in the aftermath. I mean, I don't see how they could skip over that for an entire episode. That's too big to skip.
Get out of my home, you damn demon! Ah!
What the hell is this thing?
Is this death?
It looks like it. There's always like a different tune over the Marvel Animation logo now. Like the last several episodes, it's been different. No way. Did they take away Magneto and Gambit? They did, didn't they? They did. They did. Well, we got Nightcrawler now. Wow, that sucks. There's a lot of new clips. Was that like Shi'ar Empire stuff? Like I said, I've still only seen the first season, so I really don't know. It's just like breakdown stuff that I've watched and recap stuff that I've watched, so I'm taking wild guesses here. Judging by what's happening right now, I might be right. I think so.
Shi'ar fool! Surrender!
Yo.
Surrender? No, just perish.
Stand tree! This pigeon shall not thwart the will
Is that Ronan?
of supreme intelligence.
Yeah. How does all this relate to what's going on with Storm?
A true Kree bows to no one.
Yeah, buddy, you're a little outnumbered right now.
Save them, Ronan. All you need to do is...
A million pardons, Your Highness.
You dare interrupt.
I'm sure everyone's freaking out about all these people right now. I don't recognize any of them.
My dearest sister is always of utmost priority.
Is she the one we saw kissing Charles?
1 year ago, we offered the skills of our mighty healers to a Terran man on the verge of death.
Yeah, because she's the one who takes Charles at the end, right?
No ordinary Terran. This man helped spare the entire universe from the madness of my brother D'Ken. So I, Empress Lilandra, stand before this High Council.
That was her name.
For your Empress is to be married, and our empire shall welcome a new Emperor.
Who dis?
Professor Charles Xavier.
Wait, what? That did not look... I was gonna say, they showed him just a minute ago, but it did not look like him. Like, I saw him in the chair, I thought that was a flashback.
Might and glory of the Imperium.
Okay, so they figured out how to bring Charles back.
On Earth, newlyweds whisk off to some faraway island to celebrate their love. Perhaps an empress could even spend a portion of her time ruling the galaxy from my little corner of it?
You wish to return to your children, don't you?
Yeah, it's gotta be rough being away from them.
Once we crush the Kree, an educator such as you can teach them our ways. Play the role of the peacemaker.
Wasn't aware my X-Men and I were playing make-believe. Much like my legs in this armor's exoskeleton.
Okay, I was gonna say, how is he walking? I assumed it was the suit because we saw him in the wheelchair right before he came out.
The virtue of a teacher lies in showing their students how to walk on their own.
True. but only if he is sure there are no more lessons he can teach them.
That was a cool shot. Cool transition, should I say.
Why bother? Liar, traitor, cost you everything.
What?
You will not break me, but I can fix you. Forge made his bed. Let him die in it.
All lives deserve saving.
How did she get away from the... Okay, or this isn't real.
You're not an X-Man anymore. Where did that get you? Kissing the hand that beats you?
Yeah, I figured.
I do not fear death.
I know.
Oh, that's my worst nightmare.
Is that why you fear your power? Sought refuge with this monotone family?
I was gonna say, it sounds like her. It sounds like her demons.
I cannot breathe.
You turned your back on these paths long ago.
Lord of Chaos,
Whoa.
I tear your thread.
Yeah, that's some sorcerer shit.
Depart and be gone.
Well, that was quick. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Mom practiced desert magic. Some of it sunk in, despite my best efforts.
Perhaps your mother's book holds an answer.
She wrote about a cacti, the midnight chala. Grows in nearby caves.
I like how his magic looked like Doctor Strange stuff. I know it's not the same thing. I liked the homage.
I don't want to be alone.
Then we ride together, my love.
Another great transition.
Lilandra Niramani and her royal consort.
Your man speaks as if I am your pet.
I have known you since you were but a hatchling and wish only for your happiness. But given our war with the Kree, and how it's divided even we Shi'ar...
Their design is so fascinating. Just like the hair, like that. And she's got like the Wolverine cut.
A union with the Terran would bind the Shi'ar into alliance with his inferior homeworld.
I respect you speaking the quiet part out loud, Deathbird. Your Empress and I decide alliances, as well as which world we call home.
Chandalar is home.
I nearly meant...
Spoke the quiet part out loud. Xavier would see his Milky Way ghetto become our new throne world.
Hey, that's my home you're talking about.
To ensure we are protected from your Terran ties, you must renounce Earth and erase all memory of your life there.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
Charles Xavier must purge all memories of Earth, and you, dear sister, must be the one to do it.
Well, I don't think that's gonna happen, because I think by the end of this season, he's gonna be back on Earth. But Magneto and Gambit are also dead. So I have no idea what to expect at this point.
Do you love me, Charles?
A silly question. Even you know Deathbird's challenge goes too far.
On Earth, you fought tirelessly to be tolerated and were nearly killed for it.
She's got a point. I understand where she's coming from, should I say.
Your devotion is beyond measure. Perhaps it is time to show you mine.
Yeah, I can't really see him staying there.
Growing up, I always heard how the worst weapon used by the Europeans was not bullets or blankets, but a white lie that they could make us...
Yeah, he's not doing good. And just like I can't see Charles staying there and getting his memory wiped, I can't see her remaining without her powers. I just can't see it.
Do you stand in our circle to complete the rite of Dasha?
I do.
Okay, like, whenever he was walking out for the first time, I thought that was like his actual nose. I thought the mask was open. So I was like, oh, it's not Charles. And then he took it off.
Xavier, do you renounce your X-Men?
See? He hesitates.
So?
What you ask of him is no small burden.
He seeks to ally us with Earth.
My God, you are dramatic.
Quite.
To a ruler descendant of simians. Have our blood mixed with his inferior freak fluids.
Freak fluids.
Gladiator, arrest this treacherous vulture, and any who dare to stand with her.
Ooh. Oh boy. Oh yeah, taking out the pegs. That dude is a beast.
Hear me. Class is now in session.
They're sitting at desks.
It is time for today's lesson.
I like that.
Oh. You had to be the bigger woman.
I was gonna say, I don't think that thing's gone.
Yummy. Fear poached in self-loathing.
Yeah, she's really claustrophobic, right?
And I will save you and let you live your tempting daydream.
No, you demon.
I would be losing my mind.
Kushner's neutralizer was not the only weapon tamping down my gifts. There was that lie, and I believed it.
Deny your power. Play dead, or humanity will thunder down upon you and your...
So let them thunder, for I am lightning.
Cool. The feathers. Dude, she is so powerful. Oh, cool. The black suit. That's a great shot. That was sweet.
What are demons but reflections of our fears and shame? Things we bury within us.
That thing looks... Oh.
You've been given a second chance. Should we whisk away to some tropical island?
Not an entirely unpleasant idea.
About that.
This, as rumors swirl, that Genosha is the opening salvo in the long-feared evolutionary war.
Yeah, vacation's gonna have to wait.
From the crushed skulls that house inferior minds, such as yours.
Demerits, raise your hand. Younger cultures that, had they not been tilled to death, would now be empires rivaling your own. Fearing this, you strike at the knees and claim you can help them walk again. But only if they assimilate.
I like this visual analogy.
You must be less. Your existence against mine, because... Why? Says who? Who made up these silly rules?
We did, beloved.
Whoa.
Heavens, no!
Oh, they're all dead. Great. Oh, hey, Gambit. Speaking of dead.
Oh, my children of the atom, destroyed! No!
Whoa. Now he's gonna have to go back.
I must return to Earth immediately.
Charles, if you leave, you will prove my sister right about your kind.
I will not abandon my kind. It is time I return to my X-Men.
Is that it? Okay, cool.
I did what you asked. I gave you my DNA to access Master Mold.
Sinister.
Why, Genosha was merely the beginning of a prologue, now past. You have nothing to fear, so long as you place your faith in Sinister.
Oh, shit. First off, going back to the beginning, I really like this introduction of the Shi'ar Empire, at least to me. Like I said, I've only seen season 1 up until this point, so I'm not caught up on everything that goes on in the original show with them. Getting to see the Kree versus Shi'ar conflict was cool. Getting to see Ronan was even cooler. I probably should have seen it coming because in the intro there was that little clip of Lilandra and Charles kissing, but I didn't expect to see him in this episode. I thought maybe it could have been teased, but I didn't expect him to like fully come back. You know, we got that shot of him in the wheelchair. I was like, oh, that must be like a flashback thing. Who knows? And then we saw him walk out in the suit and it didn't look like him at first because like the nose thing, I thought that was a part of his face. And I was like, okay, who's this? And he takes the helmet off and it's Charles. But what I really liked about this episode is the narrative structure, how they kept cutting back between Storm and Charles and kind of their struggles in their own way. Charles obviously struggling to pick one over the other whenever it comes to Lilandra and the mutant kind and just going back to Earth. And then with Storm, we had this whole inner struggle thing, which is what the demon was essentially. That's what I got from it. And while it was a physical entity, it was kind of her own making, or at least it took on the physical embodiment of her struggles and the problems that she's been going through. But we see her get her powers back. I really like the new black and gold suit. She has the long hair now, which looks great. And while I really like the full hair, I think I like the Mohawk just a little bit more. I'm not sure yet. But going back a little bit before that, getting to see Forge use his powers, the sorcerer powers, I thought that was really cool. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever I was reading up on Forge a few weeks ago, whenever he was introduced, I thought I read something that his powers are derived from his ancestry, his native ancestry, if you will. Like I said, I don't know for sure, but I thought I read that somewhere. But I really liked how they did the whole homage to like the Doctor Strange magic, just the way it looked. I thought that was really cool. But then going back to Lilandra and the Shi'ar and everything that's happening with Charles, Deathbird, or Lady Deathbird, I think her name was, she wants her sister to either pick Charles and wiping his memory, or she'll take over. And like I said, the flipping back and forth between the two conflicts of the main characters in this episode with Storm and Forge, and then Lilandra and Charles, I thought it was done really well. A lot of parallels in the imagery, especially whenever they were doing the transitions. I pointed that out a couple of times. But at the end, whenever Charles got in their minds and this whole thing was triggered of his dead students, we saw the skeletons pop up in the class, Gambit popped up and he turned into a skeleton. I don't know what triggered this, but now he is aware of what's happening on Earth. He doesn't know for sure, but then Storm is also aware of what happened at Genosha as well. So I'm sure those things are going to coincide next episode. I'm sure we're going to see Charles come back to Earth. Storm and Forge maybe go back with the X-Men, try to figure everything out that's going on. But then we see Trask running away from Sinister. So I'm assuming it was Sinister that attacked Genosha because it was right after Storm was watching the whole Genosha thing on TV. But he used Trask's DNA to activate the Sentinel. He called it a Master Mold Sentinel, which technically it was because it just was a big factory, but it was like a Godzilla Sentinel. Some people were saying that in the comments. I looked it up. Like some outlets are calling it the Godzilla Sentinel, some are calling it the Wild Sentinel. I have no idea what it's actually called. That's why I called it Master Mold in the last reaction. But things are building up, and they're building up rather nicely. I'm enjoying the hell out of this show. I think it's such a blast. And while not part of the direct MCU, of course, this is a multiversal story. It's all connected in one way or another. We saw the Watcher in last episode. So while all of it's not connected and this isn't a part of the main MCU timeline, this is easily one of the best things that Marvel has put on Disney Plus, if not the best thing Marvel has done on Disney Plus. Like, I love Loki. Loki season 1 is fantastic, and Loki season 2 I think is close to perfect. But if these last several episodes close this show out just as well as Loki was closed out, I think that this show has the potential to be seen as one of the best things that Marvel has ever done. So I'm loving it so far. I can't wait to check out next week's episode. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on post notifications. Whatever you guys want to do to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing the full-length version of this reaction or any other reaction that I have up on the channel, you guys will find them right here on YouTube on my membership page. So if you guys could check those out as well, I would greatly appreciate it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one.